Today you're going to learn what a muscle knot is, and then I'm going to share with you my proven system to help get out those knots, especially here, one of the places we get it the most, right there in the back of our shoulders. These are the kinds of things that I dig deep into in transformational Thai massage. This is my lifetime coaching and mentoring and certification program in Thai massage. So if you really want to take this to the next level, then check out this link down below. But stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share with you some more free resources as well so that you can take your learning to the next level. All right, let's check this out. So when we treat knots, for example, in the shoulders, like we're going to do right now, I think it's really important to keep in mind what is a knot, because I think we all kind of grow up with this sense of literally as if muscles get in a knot, like the way we tie a knot in our shoelaces, and that's not necessarily the most helpful image when we consider knots. And we feel those bulges and those areas in our body where we know we have a knot, but what it really is are just really tense muscle fibers, and that can happen either deeper down in the muscles or in the connective tissues or in the fascia of our body. And it gets caused by either overuse or underuse, lack of circulation, poor posture, maybe injuries that we've had in our body. But a lot of my clients, when they come to me and they have knots, it's usually a long-term effect of something that's going on in their bodies. So, they go to work and they have rounded shoulders, or they drive or they text and they round their shoulders, they have poor posture, they don't necessarily realize that there's an issue, because you have more active knots where you have a knot and it causes pain, but then you have more passive ones and they just kind of build, but you don't know that they're there unless someone touches them. But yet when someone touches them, it just feels so relieving, because these muscles have tensed up and on their own they're not able to release. And the reason I'm talking about all this before I even start to treat the knots is because we often go to a massage therapist and with this sense of just get it out of me. We need to get this knot out. Help me get it out. I'll do anything to get it out. It's hurting me, or my back is hurting me, or my shoulder's hurting me, or my neck is hurting me. And then we find the knots that are, at the root of it, or helping to cause the discomfort. But at the same time, because these knots are often more than months, even years in the making, to think that your massage therapist is going to get them out for good in one treatment, it does happen, but there's a lot of good reasons why it doesn't happen. There's a lot of good reasons why it's not just going to go away after one treatment. So I'll keep talking about it, but I do want to also show you how I like to work out those knots. So let's start with one of the places, or let's focus on one of the places that my clients have it the most, and that's right here in the back of the shoulder. So here's her shoulder blade, and here's her spine, and somewhere in the space between the spine and the shoulder blade, we'll often feel a little ball, a little, might feel like a little marble, might feel like a little golf ball, sometimes even maybe like a tennis ball. So taking our time to help soften the area is the number one thing that I like to do to help melt that tension, to help release some of those tight muscle fibers. And so all I'm doing, and I guess I've been doing it the whole time I talk, is just been letting my hand go back and forth. And there was a purpose to it. Before we get into those deep places, we want to start close to the surface. Fascia and connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, all of that is part of that fascial network, and it goes all the way from the surface to all the way deep down to really wrapping around every strand and every fiber of the muscles. And starting super light, it is like a chain reaction that not only works at the surface, but it works lower down. But then from here, the way I like to do this is to take my time, and so I'm sitting right next to her, because it's the most comfortable way that I can put my body as I start to apply a little bit more pressure. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I have this one core saying that's at the root of everything that I do, which is how slow can you go, how high can you fly? And what it means is let's be gradual. And how do we define being gradual when it comes to massaging knots? Well, it starts with lighter pressure and it starts with more repetition. So I'm leaning in and I'm pausing for probably less than a second here every time I lean in, because that's lighter than actually pausing and holding my pressure for a long amount of time. So I'm going from a depth of close to the surface to somewhere deeper down to help release a knot in this area. I want to start with lighter pressure and those shorter pauses. But eventually, I do start to lengthen my pauses. So you want to get a sense of how much pressure your partner likes, because some people might like lighter pressure, but you can still have longer pauses. And so you're kind of playing or in that interplay between pauses and depth and pauses and pressure. We started with shorter pauses, and now we're starting to have longer pauses in this area where she's got a knot. Because when I pause, I give her body permission to relax more. I give her body permission to release the inner pharmacy that it has to help heal itself. Part of the secret to giving great massage for me is really, I don't force anything. I just wait to be invited in. And so short pauses started that conversation, started that, and now longer pauses continue that because the area has relaxed, so I can pause longer. And then I can add in deeper pressure. And sometimes it's really hard to break up that rounded knot. So here I'm finding another one. And so it's not always linear, is my point. That if it's hard to break up that knot, then I gotta go backwards a couple steps. Go back to those circles. Go back to the shorter pauses. Loosen things up a little more before you sink in. But what I'm also hinting at is that the other really important way to help treat those knots is to know that if there's a knot in one place, there's probably another one right next door. And so it's like a concentric ring. So from the first knot, let me open it up a little bit. Let me go a little bit to the left or to the right, above and below. Less than an inch. In fact, it's more like, for those of you who are familiar with the metric system, we're going millimeters away from the first spot to see what we find and to repeat everything that we've been doing. And the speed that I'm working now, this is really the speed of a real life massage. So the more you can chill, let your rocking motion and your patience win the day, and just relax into these places. Again, the easier it is for you, the more nurturing it is for them, and you're trusting that their body knows what to do, which it definitely does. Way more than you do. So you're a facilitator is really what it comes down to. And at each level of depth, you're just helping to make some space and facilitating that response. The inner wisdom of her body knowing what to do. And fundamentally, that's it. That's how we work those knots. And you patiently find them more and more on the body. And as you finish up, we make these circles, which I call sweeping, to again just really complete the whole experience. Now these knots, so when someone comes to me, it's not often because they're feeling the knot. They're feeling pain somewhere. So in this case, it might be neck pain or side of the arm pain or top of the shoulder pain. But finding the knot somewhere here, like in the back of the shoulder, is directly related to the pain that they're feeling. So that's a really important reason that we work these knots. And these are called trigger points, where you have pain that you feel in one part of the body, but the source of it may be coming from somewhere else. And so we find those knots to help release pain in other parts of the body. The other thing is taking a very holistic approach means that, again, I'm not here to solve and get rid of all the knots in her body. I'm here to facilitate healing as best as I can. And therefore, as I treat my client, it is to explain to them that this knot is probably years in the making. And to undo that, we want to actually have a long-term view of what to do. So yes, regular treatments are good, but what you can do in between the treatments is at least as important. And so I usually introduce things in a step-by-step manner. Could be related to posture, and I'll ask them to consider how they hold their shoulders in this case, to bring their shoulder blades back when they can notice it, to try to encourage having a nice long neck, nice tall head, both when they're walking, when they're sitting, when they're driving, to take breaks while they're doing their work. So these little tips is how we change the whole overall energy of the body and the posture, so it works both physically and energetically. And over time, what we're doing is we are creating a more healthier version of ourselves so that the knots first can just disperse organically on their own, and then they just don't have to come back. Diet can play a part, lifestyle, so the amount of exercise that we do, just literally like taking little breaks. So, we know that we have to work, and it is through the daily activities of our life that these knots form. But just being a little bit more aware and then taking little breaks and doing little things, one little thing at a time, that's how you create long-term results. So we work together in the moment to provide release, and we want to encourage our clients to work on their own. That's how I love to treat knots. That's how we get into those shoulder knots to both release shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, you name it. And the same way I treated the back of her shoulder here, you can do the same thing in the lower back, in the side back, along the arms, along the neck, on top of the shoulders. So play with this approach, and then if you have any questions and if you have any comments, just post them below and I'll be happy to help you. I promise you some free resources, and the first thing I want you to do is sign up for my 30-day Thai massage challenge, which gives you everything you need to do to give an incredible shoulder and neck massage. You're going to take everything that you learned here today and just expand it out, learn all kinds of amazing techniques, and learn all kinds of ways to address neck and shoulder pain really completely, deeply, thoroughly, you name it. So here's the link down below. And when you sign up for the challenge, I'm going to also send you a free manual, a free book that I wrote specifically for the challenge. It's going to guide you through it every step of the way. And if you really want to take this to the next level, then check out Transformational Thai Massage. It's not only a certification course, it is a mentoring and coaching program to guide you through as you learn Thai massage at an incredibly high level, but then really to help you succeed and as you implement it through your entire life. It's also a business course, and there's all these amazing ways to bring the brilliance of Thai massage into an inspired way of living. So to check that out,
click this down below. And for more videos on YouTube, check these out as well. And I will see you real soon. Just want to wish you some amazing, amazing massages.